boys are back in town. The
The
boys,
boys are back in town.
Would anyone outside of Australia understand that?
Yeah, they have to. They have to.
I hope so.
Bro, we've got on Restream now. It's got on air.
Wait, does it? Where are you seeing this?
At the top of my one, it says on air. I feel
Does
like I'm
it?
in a fucking professional show.
We are anything but professional here at MANDO and Laurie and Mating.
Nah,
I can't
dude,
see
we are
it.
so professional.
That's what I mean. I think
Dude,
I think you've got more upgrades than I have. I can't see that.
Oh. I've upgraded my mainframe.
All right, guys, we are back, and the episode today was actually inspired by the events of last week. If you were here, if you were not, you may have seen it on social media. What was it? The concept of our episode? We were just talking about the world between worlds. Should it belong? Should it not? And we're having a good old-fashioned debate. Blore brought in his cronies in Star Wars Nerd and Sean. I was abandoned by Darth Christensen. And
abandoned.
And we're having a good old debate in that. And then we somehow got onto we were talking about anything and everything, and we got onto the Force and what balance truly is. And Blore just pulled this out of his ass. I think you've still got the sticky note there.
I do. I still have said sticky note. I haven't. This is. I should frame this sticky note because that's such an
that is
important part
going
of our
in
channel.
Lucas's museum.
Dude, imagine.
Dude, we've got Dizzy in the chat. Greetings. Funnily enough,
Dizzy.
I watched the World Between Worlds Ahsoka episode last night. Well, dude, I mean, we're not doing our World Between Worlds episode, but this is the sequel. This is
kind of the sequel. Don't worry, Jesse. Oh, bro, Star Wars, man. You are like Italy, bro. Anytime you want it, you just flip over to whatever side you need. And you know what? I don't respect it.
Now, he says to an extent, so what is your take on the balance debate? Because in my opinion, it's not like, this is more of a discussion, because in my humble opinion, it's not a debate. I just go from the word of Lucas. But
yes,
I do understand what Jeremy's saying here, and he is right. Like, basically what you said, Nerd. Jeremy is right to an extent. The way he tried to explain it last week, though, had
it was a hard watch. Out. It was a hard watch.
It had me crashing
out. Dude, I was struggling, man. I was struggling because I'm like trying to fucking say this, and then I've got these two guys in there who are just like shutting down every bit of their argument. How can I have a whole thing? Also, dude, smile. I'm gonna put you on my story. And yeah. Everyone knows now. Everyone who's on there, they're going to be like, "Oh my god, I was on there when he took that." But yeah, no, I was like, it was hard, man. It was hard because I'm here just being like, "Oh, hey, by the way, this is like this," and then next thing you know, I've got 3-on-1, and it was so much more passionate. So much more passionate than any of the arguments that we were having before. I was like, what's going on? Like it felt like from then on, I was alone. And and you know what?
Alone.
It took me a bit, but I feel like I'm thriving now. I've Han soloed my way through life. I'm a hustler, and I'm hustling my beliefs. And you guys are gonna have to sit and listen. Actually, to be fair, you don't have to. You can just turn off the stream. But if you want to listen to peak theories and peak content, you have to stay around.
Free will is a wonderful thing. You've already got a friend here, though. Dizzy is with you.
Dizzy, mad love. I think I've got the reactions on. Let's just give you mad love. Mad love to Dizzy. Mad love to Dizzy.
I don't think... Have I seen a love heart on your reactions? I don't know if I've seen a love heart.
You've seen the love heart.
I've seen you do it, but I don't know if I've actually seen the hearts pop out.
Well, here we go. We're a part of a new world.
I go by the Ashler and Bogan standards. Here in Australia, Bogan means something completely different.
Yeah, I'm a Bogan. You know what, man? And what I love about you, bro, is that you don't agree with everything, even if it's the creator of Star Wars, the one who like literally designed the whole universe. Um, I like that. You
It sounds like
push.
you're taking a shot there.
No, I'm not.
I know you're
Like
not, but it
it's,
just sounds like
but like you push against it, and
yeah.
that's what you know. What out of everything, man. Even when you don't agree with me, and that's okay. You don't have to agree with me on everything. Yeah, I know you'll come around to it, but when when I hear you say something, I know that you're at least open to change or you actually want to push what the definition truly is.
Yeah.
And that is what makes a lot of creators flesh out their content so much better. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you, nerd. I
Yeah.
appreciate you, nerd. But today is about balance. It's about balance. It is about creating our idea of balance. It's not necessarily going to be a debate. It's going to kind of just, like Jesse was saying before, it is going to be a discussion
Mm.
discussion on what we think is the real definition of balance. And Jesse, I don't know if you want to start, man. I mean, like, do you want to start with what George Lucas said?
I can start with what George Lucas. I will be George's voice on a humble little live show. Basically, so
You
there's a
are.
couple times. Oh, what do you say?
I'll look George in the eyes and tell him his original 1977 version is better than the special edition.
Fair enough. God damn.
Yeah, I mean, like it sounds like you're very nostalgia coded, but if he's getting everything that he wanted out of it, I would disagree. I just think that if he can have what he wants, then I'm happy. I'm happier with it.
We will
Yeah,
no.
it probably will. It probably will.
Depends who we let it.
But
If we let people in the show, then yeah, mine.
it's definitely going to turn into that if we let people in.
But no, so yeah, basically George's definition of it. There's been a couple times he's sort of stated it. In one interview, he sort of just said, the dark side's the imbalance, the light side's the balance. So this was when he did an interview, and there was a bit there where he was talking about how Anakin actually did fulfill the prophecy, because that's a whole separate debate. And yeah, he basically said at the end, the dark side's the imbalance, the light side's the balance, and when Anakin defeats Palpatine and I guess returns to being Anakin, then the Sith are no more at that point in time, and balance has been restored. Then there's another video, and it's so beautiful because he's sitting down at the head of the table, and you've got Filoni, and you've got all these other creative guys there from Lucasfilm. And he's just explaining the Force, and he's going through his notes he thought it was from when he did Phantom Menace, because a lot of it was alluding to the prophecy and that. And he's going through it, and you can see the guys in the room, and they're just like sitting there like they're just gobsmacked. They're here as Lucas is like basically breaking down the Force in front of them, and you've got Dave Filoni right next to him with his little notebook and that, like writing every single word down. And yeah, so he was basically comparing the two, like the dark side is selfish, the light side is selflessness. You have to keep it in balance. When you go to the dark side, everything goes out of balance. You become selfish, you forget about everybody, and ultimately yourself. You get stuff, and then you are afraid someone will take it away from you. When you become afraid that you will lose it, you become angry, which leads to hate, which leads to suffering. You become afraid of losing everything so much that you forget to live. The dark side is pleasure, it's biological, it's temporary, and it's easy to achieve. The light side is joy, everlasting, and difficult to achieve. It is a great challenge. You must overcome laziness, give up quick pleasures, and overcome fear. So that was more going into the dark and the light. But basically at the start there, he says, when you go to the dark side, everything goes out of balance, because the light side is balance and the dark side is imbalance. Now, if you go even more into that, there is a book called Master and Apprentice, which follows Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. And there's a bit in there where the name of the other Jedi escapes me. I'm pretty sure it's his only appearance, unless he's in other comics and that as well. But him and Qui-Gon were having different opinions on what, the prophecy and what balance really is. And to him, his version of balance was more, not Qui-Gon, this other Jedi, his version of balance was more, the typical version of balance with, there's got to be equal parts of both sort of thing. Whereas Qui-Gon, I think Qui-Gon's differed. It was along the lines of like what George Lucas is saying, slightly differed perhaps. Whereas his is probably the best, sorry for the pun, but best balance between like what actual balance is and what George's balance is, where he didn't necessarily believe that light side was the balance. It was more about acknowledging, you've got the dark and the light within you. It's about picking the light side, but acknowledging there is two sides to every person. And I thought that was really beautiful, and I think that's probably a bit more realistic and probably a lot more applicable for a lot of people. But yeah, I'll always come back to what George's definition of balance and the force is. But yeah, I want to hear from you, because I do agree with you in some parts there, because especially like when the balance, I suppose the balance of power is shifting. I do agree that there is that point in time where there is sort of that balance there, and it can go either way, kind of thing. But
yeah. So I think what George Lucas was saying there, personally for me, it makes me feel like he's talking about the inner turmoil within someone else. That true balance is light within yourself and recognizing the dark.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think in that he's necessarily referencing the whole force in general. And what I'm talking about is the balance of the force in general. So for me, I mean, like, I'll bring this bad boy out.
Yeah.
I'll bring that bad boy out. Okay. My general idea of the force is that it sits on a seesaw. Now, the general idea of a seesaw is like you have the weight perfectly in the middle at a point, and then depending on weights on either side, it will either raise or lower depending on which side is heavier. I think when it comes to this, the most important part is knowing that balance is the ability to switch from each side. So the ability to add more weight on one side to rise another. And I think true balance in the force can never exist, only but for fleeting moments. Because those fleeting moments are the times that we actually see genuine balance, where every bit of the light and the dark are equal. That is just, if you're looking at a scale, and I'm talking about physically looking at a scale, if you have the exact same weight on each side, that is balance. Now, the force, I think, personally works a little more like that, but it changes because the weight of the different people are kind of like attributing to, which is rising and which is falling. Now, I personally think that having the light too high is imbalance. I also think that having the dark too high or too low is imbalance. Like, having the extremes on either side is not balance, but having the ability to be able to remove all of that weight and create that balance for even that moment while it's switching to the other side is so important. Like, it is so unbelievably important. Now, when you guys were talking to me before, you were saying like, well, how many people on the light side would have been so like it would have been so heavy, right? That no one, like, there's no way that the dark, if you were talking in my analogy, there is no way that the dark would have been able to overthrow that. Now, what I will say is, because, and what I was talking about before with the less people the less people on whichever side, it means that more power goes towards them. Now, I'm not saying you guys were I think that was one of the biggest points in contention in the previous video.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying here is, so if say the light is on this side, right? The light is taking up all of that. You've got everyone on this side. It's super concentrated on the light side. But you've only got a little bit of room in the dark. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean that there's going to be less people. There still could be more Sith. Who knows? But there are less heavy hitters. Now, it's the same reason why Anakin could bring balance to the Force compared to someone like Cal Kestis, who can't. They just don't have the ability to bring balance.
Yeah.
Because they aren't anywhere near as strong. Now, I'm not saying that that's just going to change every time and you're going to have less people and there's going to be more heavy hitters, but it's a general drive, and it's kind of the fight in the person. Now, Luke could bring balance Now, I mean, he wasn't the last Jedi. There were only a few of them. But outweighed from all of this bad that's going on, there are only a few people that have the genuine ability to stand up and bring balance to the Force. He was the one that overthrew Vader and Palpatine. Now, I know people are going to be like, no, Vader was the one that turned in the end and he became good, and that was the whole thing. But to have the ability to turn Vader is still destroying him, because it, like, the way Vader looks at everything is he destroys the person, right? So Vader destroyed Anakin and Anakin destroyed Vader at the same time, all because of the help of someone like Luke Skywalker. So when you're looking at balance here, it's not necessarily that everything is going to be equal all the time. And what Anakin did is he didn't create the 50-50 here, that perfect straight line, equal parts dark, equal parts light. It's kind of like Octo, when you have this beautiful and like light side of the Force energy place, and then you have a deep dark abyss on the other side. On the other side of the island, one that you never go to. You know, he can appreciate that it's there, but you never go to it. Why? Well, because, I mean, that's imbalance itself if you're not wanting to accept it.
Yeah.
But every part of the Force is equal light and equal dark. But only you, as the Force wielder, and I would argue someone who doesn't even have the Force could do the exact same thing if their drive was enough. If they were enough to overthrow the imbalance, you do not need the Force in any way. Now, I know the Force lives in every single person, but I'm talking about like being the heavy hitter that I was talking about, right? Like, I would argue that Cal Kestis has a less importance for the Force, even though he wields it so well, than Han Solo, because Han Solo was a determining factor of everything that came forward with, you know, the overturning of the dark side and bringing it to the light. But all Anakin did was overthrow the dark, right? The dark, when it's super, super high and the light is super, super low. All Anakin did was remove so much of the weight so that it was able to shift from that all the way up to the light side being again in control. Now, the same reason why Palpatine was easily able to, because I mean, like, the light side after that, like the New Republic had hollow structures and hollow foundations, and they just could not handle the immense might of, like, I guess, kind of revenge of the dark side, if you really want to say that. They just couldn't handle it. They weren't ready for it. Like, you can't build a civilization on rebellion. The rebellion is the push to change a civilization, but they are not able to sustain an empire. Because really, that's what the Jedi were as well. The Jedi were an empire. They were totalitarian, taking control of every single galaxy. They just did it under a fairer rule. So, I mean, like, I'll answer a few things in here. And if you guys have any questions on it,
please shoot them through. We've got Fred. So I met Fred when I was on Hannah's show the other day. Hello, Fred.
Oh, sick.
Mad Fred, coming through, dude.
Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in, man.
I was just talking about the Ashlar and Bogan method.
Yeah. Fair enough, man.
It's a good interpretation.
Both of you talk about this. Got my compartment turning. Oh, dude, got a question from Dizzy. How does one bring balance and keep balance, though? The idea is that you can't keep balance. The more that you add to your plate, the heavier that it gets, and the more it will weigh you down. The whole idea of the Jedi is that they want to constantly keep absolutely nothing in their mind, like harboring any part of their mind. They are just purely the Force, and that's it. Now, I think that's also imbalance. But at the same time, when you add so much more to you, the more you will be weighed down, and the more, like, you're stretched thin, kind of. Now, think about it like this, right? If you're in a warfare, very, very, very simple analogy. You're in warfare, and they're fighting on 4 fronts, okay? You've got one person who's leading one of the fronts. You've got from this side, well, even let's say 3, like middle, and then you've got left and right, yeah? So when you are a part of the middle, and they go, oh, we need some help over here, and then you go to the right. and then the middle dies down. I don't know if you guys have ever played Battlefront 3 and you've got A, B, and C, and you're like protecting one of them, and you realize all the droids are going to the other one, and then they're like, oh no, we're struggling here on the left. Okay, so they go over to the left, and then oh no, we're struggling in the right again, and then you're moving around, you're stretched out, you can't do it, and then over time, the dark will overcome you, and that's really what the Jedi came to be. Their morals were stretched out. They became someone that they couldn't recognize now. Now, I'm not going to go into the Yoda quote again from Dooku. I'm not going to do it. And Nerd, I love that you brought that up and like you posted.
Sorry, put that on his story.
I love that quote, man. No, but like it's so important. It's so important to understand that you can only bring balance if there is balance that's need to be brought. There is no way that if the Jedi were actually doing something that was good, even then, if it was like the best thing that they were doing the whole time, that if they were in power that whole time, that is still wrong. That is not balance because they are not accepting the dark side. Now, if they were all working, now I will say, if they were all working more towards Qui-Gon, accepting the darkness, and even I would actually argue working more like Mace as well. The reason why he has a purple lightsaber is because he's accepted the dark within him and he's able to push through more. No, but he's egotistical in every way possible. I mean, like he's failed for other reasons, but I think if they were more like Mace's style of training, Qui-Gon's style of training, the acceptance of the dark and the acceptance of the light at the same time, and knowing that in order to appreciate the light, you must be submerged in the dark, that you have to see the evil to know how to fight it. Like that's what is more balance. I don't think we're ever like gray Jedis don't exist. There is only good and there is only bad, and that's the same as in life. Same as in life. You're never going to get someone who's teetering on the edge because that is inherently bad. Someone who won't support you in whatever like struggles or whatever that you need. That is the same thing as, you know, not helping. What's the Dooku quote? I forget. Oh, but okay. I mean, do we go into it? Do we read the Dooku quote?
You have to do it. You have to do it.
Do we read the Dooku quote on Yoda?
You have to do it.
Okay, I'm gonna just fucking do this. I'm going to. Oh, dude, it's in my fucking thing. I don't even know why I was typing it out. I literally put in Dooku and then it finished a quote about Yoda. Okay. So I'll read it here. The Jedi Order's problem is Yoda. No being can wield that kind of power for centuries without becoming complacent at best or corrupt at worst. He has no idea that it's overtaken him. He no longer sees all the little cumulative evils that the Republic tolerates and fosters, from slavery to endless wars. And he never asks, why are we not acting to stop this? Live alongside corruption for too long and you no longer notice the stench. The Jedi cannot help the slaves of Tatooine, but they can help the slave masters. Dude, I love that quote. Let's see what Dizzy said here. If it was said that Anakin was to bring balance to the Force, does that not mean that he could keep it? Was the prophecy found before Anakin was born or created after he was born? Now, the premise that Rey was able to create balance again means that you are not able to keep it. Like it or not, if the way Disney changed it, and I think it would have happened again either way without Disney doing it, like the most logical conclusion is balance was brought and there became imbalance, and now there is balance, like there needs to be balance brought again. I think someone who wields the power to bring balance cannot necessarily hold it because that would be imbalance. The controller of all that is good and bad is not balanced because you still have one person who's teetering the scales. In order to have that, it needs to be something that is fluid and something that is chosen by so many different people and different powers that be. I mean, if you guys have more questions about what I think, do you actually, Jesse, do you want to say anything as well? I mean, on top of that, before I keep going.
Yeah, so if it said that Anakin was to bring balance to the Force, does that mean he could keep it? It was so the prophecy itself it was an ancient Jedi prophecy, so it was found way before Anakin. But the prophecy itself is a chosen one shall come, born of no father, and through him will ultimate balance in the Force be restored. So that's the Jedi's prophecy though. So if you're to take it from their point of view, they speak of ultimate balance. So you would assume it can either mean, absolute balance of, the Force, or you could also take it in ultimate means everlasting. But yeah, no, I do agree with what you said, that because there'll always be constant challenges to power and that sort of thing. So I don't think balance is an everlasting thing. But yeah, he certainly restored it for that generation. And yeah, back on the
balance can't be.
No, it can't be kept forever. No, there'll always be challenges to power and that sort of thing. But yeah, back on the Luke Skywalker thing, because that is the debate there with like if Anakin brought balance to the Force or if Luke did it. Luke helped Anakin. I suppose Luke helped Anakin bring balance to the Force, but yeah, ultimately Anakin brought balance to the Force when he destroyed Palpatine and obviously returned to being Anakin Skywalker and left Vader behind. But yeah, I suppose with your little diagram, I thought to sort of, I don't know if this helps or not from my point of view, but that is, according to George, that would be balance in the Force. You've got the light side as the balance, and then the dark side would be, the imbalance there. But yeah, and then because that's, obviously balance in the Force. But yeah, if you were to go balance in oneself, I think the perfect visual for that would be Anakin and Ahsoka. Because, he acknowledges the Vader within him and he can pull it out when he requires it, but ultimately he still has control over it. He can choose when to be Vader and he can choose when to be Anakin. And I think that's ultimate control over balance within oneself. Dizzy's a fan of you here, dude. I think you've got a new lifelong
dude.
I've seen him in here. I swear I've seen Dizzy in here before. He was in Hannah's show when I was there, but I swear I've seen Dizzy here before.
I've seen Dizzy. Dizzy's the GOAT. Thank you so much for appreciating, man. We'll say here just quickly, because he says, like, does the prophecy refer to a single or certain person, or is it more a criteria?
I think it was more.
You can answer that one.
Yeah, I think it's up to interpretation, but I think it was more a set of criteria, because it wasn't alluding to, like, in 100 years, Anakin's going to be born. It was more a criteria, because then when Qui-Gon found him, he's like, because there's not really a lot of criteria, to be fair. Like, it's the start of it is like born without a father sort of thing. Because then when Shmi tells Qui-Gon that, you can see the fucking lights start going off in his head. He's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I think it's more a set of criteria. And obviously it's a pretty rare set of criteria. So if, someone's born with like, and a father wasn't involved at any stage, it's probably, yeah.
No, I agree.
So yeah, I would take it as more a set of criteria.
Yeah. I can't see that there would be any other, like, there would be, and he's going to come out with brown hair. It's more so like, what's this person going to be able to do? Now, I mean, I see Star Wars Nerds one up there. I see Luke. I didn't see Luke picking up Palpatine and throwing him down that.
There's people out there that think Luke brought balance, but yeah.
But yeah, I think it's important to note that if you were going to talk about Luke, he is the hands of balance. He is not balance. He's not the physical embodiment of balance itself. Dude, Dizzy, don't be sorry, man. Come on.
No, dude, we love these questions. Keep asking. Keep asking, man.
Hello there. Oh, Ben.
Ben's in here. Dude, Ben. Yeah, no, Ben, your reels have been elite lately. They have been elite.
But yeah, no, I think what
we got Raph.
We got
Raph.
We got so many people coming in here.
Look at this yummy man.
I would just say, like, it's so important to realize. I mean, like, for me, what I'm talking about is the overarching idea of the Force.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the individual. And I feel like George Lucas was alluding to the individual, because his whole contention is everything about inside the person. He's thinking, like, when you choose to be good, that is balance. Irrespective of the dark, like, if you choose to be good, I think that's an inner turmoil that we all face, right? Like, you just see someone who is, say, struggling on the street, and you look at them from a distance and you go, do I help them? When you leave them and you go, no, they can be to their own devices. It's like that is bad. If you have the ability to help help, choosing the good in any situation is going to be balanced because you're understanding the light and the dark at the same time. Rather, Mandela, I love you. But what I think is so important is that the overarching idea of the Force is that anything at any time is balanced only for a fleeting moment, only for that tiny little bit of time where you can have someone who is a kind of like a, yeah. I mean, definitely internal and external balance. I just think this is I think this is the overarching idea of the Force. Too much good is bad, and too much bad is not good. Like it's just it's very simple, but I think it's easy to get caught up in as well because you see something like, it's good to have the light side on all the time because they're going to do the right thing. But in the end, in the Grand Republic, they were not doing the right thing. They were completely screwing over this kid because he's had traumatic experiences in his life. He's had he's had such a troubled past, and because of that, they were fearful. I think Ahsoka was terrible the way she acted with Grogu, because all Grogu did was have a traumatic history with the same alignment to the Force that is.
Holy Sean. What's up, dude?
What's up, brother? But yeah, no, I think like Ahsoka, what she did with Grogu was equally just as bad. I don't think that is good. And as much as she's a good character and she does the right thing majority of the time, what she did was completely push aside from someone who was craving help. And when you need help, like Grogu did, the right thing to do would be to present yourself and train him at that time. But she just passed on, and that's why I don't really like, as much as I like Ahsoka, I don't like her at the same time because she picks and chooses everything. Like I think she's just so wrong to be the leader of the Jedi, which is why she's not. Obviously, this is what I'm talking about. Like even someone like Ahsoka never has the ability to bring balance to the Force because of her inner turmoil. Absolutely. There's a fucking fight going on back here. But like she would never be able to bring balance to the Force.
No.
There is a period of time where Ahsoka was really, really good, but it didn't mean that she was the total good. And in order to bring balance to the Force, you have to be respective of both sides. And I think Anakin, having him dive deep into the dark and deep into the light, because he was obsessive by being a Jedi. He wanted to be the best Jedi possible. And he was like, no, screw these guys. I don't agree with this. These guys have screwed me over. Then he goes, I want to be deep into the dark side. I want to be the best of the dark side. And now that is the balance. That is going from each side. And because of that, he was able to, at one period of time, bring balance to the Force, but it was then very quickly overturned because the light side rose higher than the dark. I think we'll answer a bunch of this stuff in here.
What do we have? We've got Ben. Just give them. It's just a movie. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's. I mean, like, I appreciate everyone who wants to, like what I was talking about before with Nerd. Like, I love when people clap back at opinions because you don't have to agree.
Absolutely.
That's the whole point of a collaborative experience. Here's
dude, Nerd has the same opinion. Unpopular. Fucking Star Wars Nerd has the same opinion. I need to go back.
Yeah, okay. I think they understand the power scaling better. That's the only reason why. I think they just, I don't know. I think they lost it in the middle. Like, it was so good when it started off. It lost it in the middle, and then it became something really, really good at the end. I'm not saying that that's a bad. I don't think that's an indication of a bad show. It's just, yeah, like it's just different. So dude, Mandalorians are the most imbalanced guys ever. They will flop in and out of whatever they need just so they can survive.
See, I think there's a lot of factors you got to take into it, because then he says, Raz says, Ahsoka has too much good inside her. She's unbalanced. So I think with Ahsoka not being a good teacher and not willing to take on Grogu and that, you've got to take a couple factors into consideration. You've got to take into the fact that she did train Sabine at one point, and obviously Sabine is hella difficult. Even like Kanan was alluding to that. Like there is a blockage there to wanting to learn the Force and the lightsaber skills, and obviously she's skilled with a like a sword, like a handheld weapon. But there is a blockage there because of her past and trauma and all that. So you've got to take that into consideration. That, it's not just on Ahsoka's behalf there with that dynamic. It's Sabine as well. She's incredibly stubborn. Then you've got the whole Anakin dynamic that Ahsoka's involvement with other people only leads to bad, and that's, I suppose, creates the imbalance there. But then, like, saying she's got too much good in her, it's an interesting one because, like, I get that that perception, but then you've got, I suppose, like, according to George Lucas, that would be balance there. If she's got the good in her and only good, that's balance there. But then, yeah, alluding. Sorry, what when you started talking, then alluding to that second interview was definitely probably more talking about balance within oneself and that. But then the first interview is when he's talking about like the prophecy and everything, and that's when he alludes to Anakin destroying the Sith creates total balance in the Force, and that like he fulfills the prophecy. Then that is the balance within the Force.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never going to be one to. I'm never going to be one to talk shit about George Lucas. I mean, like, it's like saying someone who drew their own drawing is wrong because they could do the drawing better. It's like it's still their drawing, like it's still he created it and he created this opinion, even though it was heavily based on so many other pieces of fiction. It's still his version of that fiction. And I mean, like, I just take my interpretation of balance to be something that is available to everyone and anyone. Because I think a lot of people get caught up in the fact that you have to have some special talent to be this incredible Force wielder. It's like, well, I mean, like, sorry, to be this incredible balance giver, but you don't. You don't have to be a Force wielder. You could be someone like Han Solo. You could be someone like Mando, someone with absolutely no Force ability at all, but the drive to want to be better, the tenacity, right? You need to be able to have the want, and then when you actually succeed, it doesn't matter if you've got the Force or not. You are still doing the bidding of good and not evil. Because the only good thing is recognizing evil and trying to be good, which inherently creates balance, which is what I agree with George. But in the general scheme of the Force itself, not everything can be the same. Like, you can't have a high dark and then a high light at the same time. One has to be lower, and then in turn creates balance when they shift between, not necessarily having them both at like either ends. Because if you're having it at either ends, that's still, like, if you're looking at a straight line, that's still a very straight line. Like, you're not having any change and any difference. And if it was going to be that all the time, then there'd be no way that the Empire could have succeeded. There's no way, because the good was so small and the good was struggling so much, relying on only a few people who were willing to do its bidding. But then you came perfectly to the period right after the Empire was gone, and the good wasn't necessarily the New Republic, but it was still the rebellion. I think there was that brief window of time, that Ewok party. That was genuinely the only time where pure balance was, where there was no turmoil, there was nothing but celebration.
Okay.
And like the removal of both good and evil and the structuring of a new future is the only time where you have balance. But the moment they implemented that the New Republic was going to take over, it became imbalanced again.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no. I'm picking up what you're putting down. No, we'll get to the other comments in a sec, but I just saw Wrath make this one. Like, just going off like what you're saying, Jeremy, like, because part of your like analogy in that is that like when the power is shifting, there is a point at time in which they are equal. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yes, absolutely.
I think we said this off camera the other day, but the example I sort of applied to that was, when in Revenge, when the Jedi are being massacred and all that, and you're left with Obi-Wan versus Anakin and Yoda versus Palpatine, and that because those are the two penultimate, they're the two critical battles that determine what happens from here on. If the winners and losers will determine basically the whole future of the galaxy for the next 20 years or so. So yeah, would you do you agree with what Rath is saying, or you're just saying there's these fleeting moments in time, as the balance of power shifts, with that Obi-Wan Anakin Yoda Palpatine thing, there is
I would say
equal there, or
I would say that I don't agree. I think things can be perfectly equal, but it's only for a fleeting moment.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in the current Star Wars that we know.
Yeah.
The Old Republic, I think that's more balanced because you're not going like this, right? Because now the way we see it is light rises and dark rises to match it, and dark rises and light rises to match all that kind of stuff, right? It's very much extremities the whole time. But when it comes to the Old Republic, because there was so much fighting and so much imbalance all the time, one team was better than the other, and it was going like this. So there was a longer period of balance where it just came like this, but then went off, and then came like this, and went off, came like this. But balance can be achieved, but only fleetingly, and you can never hold on to balance for too long. Balance cannot exist for eternity. There's no way. There has to be give and take. There has to be push and pull, or otherwise there would be no life. There would be no variance in life. Nothing. It would be a boring, bleak, grey, just disgusting kind of dystopian future. You have to have light and dark. It's where the color and the flavor comes in, right? Because the dark side rising, they might do things that the light side would be like, actually, they did a few things right. Let's work on that. Generally, we will build ourselves and become better. We're taking stepping stones, stepping on other people's successes, and slowly working our way up the ladder to get to that end destination. But I just don't think that ladder ends. We're getting a lot. We're getting a lot of people.
See, now Wrath says that, and this is really interesting to me too, because there's obviously a few different perceptions, especially on the Anakin Obi-Wan duel, because I would argue that is incredibly balanced, and the only thing that disrupts that balance is Anakin's arrogance at the end. That is the only thing that disrupts it. Obviously, Anakin is if you want to go by the power levels established by George and that, Anakin is a high power level at that stage, but because they train together for so long, they know the ins and outs of each other's fighting styles and techniques and everything. They train together for 13 years. That is an incredibly balanced duel, and the only thing that creates the imbalance in that duel is Anakin's arrogance right at the end.
Yep. Yeah, I think bang on. I would not change that. I think that's perfect.
We'll just go back up because we did miss it. Oh, we had Star Wars Sith here, Tony. What's going on,
dude?
Wrath
Tony?
is unbalanced.
Wrath is unbalanced.
I need to go back and watch these. I watched them once when I was a kid. So I need to go back and watch them. I know I've watched clips here and there.
Be careful because you're going to want to buy so many toys. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, what did Ben say here?
The thing about all of this is, if you're arguing about balance, then I feel like you have to argue about noise in space. Why is there noise in space in the Star Wars? I don't know if George has said it.
I would completely disagree.
This is the easy answer is because George wanted it. Because George said so.
Yeah, it makes cinema. Like we're not doing a documentary. But I would completely disagree. I think the arguing of balance does not mean that we have to argue everything in Star Wars, all of its falls. Like it's not. I mean, like you're seeing cinema, and that's the only way we can perceive, especially at the time. I mean, like sure, even now when we're making movies that have got like billion-dollar budgets and we've got all of this knowledge about space because we've been there, unless you don't believe in the moon landing. But like we've got all of this knowledge. They still do noise in space. They still do fires in space. It's stupid, but it's cinema. Like we're meant to have a reflection of our life in a completely different world.
Yeah.
So
Un-
dizzy.
Unless this just wasn't fleshed out in his mind, maybe set the boundaries of the movies he created, and that was it. Never thought it would expand this far.
I think that's a pretty fair argument.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when you're initially creating, I think, like with Star Wars, the difference between Star Wars and Wrath can definitely talk about this as well. Is the difference between Star Wars and Lord of the Rings is Lord of the Rings created the lore before the actual story was created. He created all of the wars, the characters, the dialect, everything, and then he just filled the space, to fill the void with all of the noises that was around. Right?
Yeah.
He told the story that was already creating itself. Whereas George Lucas creates the story, he fills in the gaps. And I'm not saying that either one is right or wrong. It's just a completely different take of storytelling. And definitely he didn't set the boundaries. He did not think this far in advance. But what I love about George is that he's so close to perfect on a lot of what he does that it's so easy to be like, oh yeah, by the way, you could just add this in there.
Yeah.
And it works so well. There's barely any franchises that you can do that. Yeah, it's just, I mean, like, it's because he's inspired by so many stories that he's seen the downfalls of so many that he can create his own. I mean, like, sure, this is kind of just a copy of Dune, but like, is what it is. Harry Potter was a copy of Star Wars. Yeah.
At the end of the at the end of the day, movies need to be digestible by all consumers, whether you're a diehard fan or not. Lucas may have set the parameters close, so it's easily understandable. 100%, 100%,
100%, dude. I think that's a great take. That's a great take. That's why you should keep commenting, man, because I love
please
this.
do, Dizzy. I'm loving having you in here. By the way, talking about balance and everything, I finished Master of Evil yesterday. Not sure exactly how I feel. It was a great Audible production, though. Unsure about the story. I still need to finish it, but have you seen much on it, Jeremy, on Master of Evil? And that?
Nah.
So apparently, how it's told is it's not a lot of it's actually told from Vader's point of view. It's told there's after he embarks on this mission basically to find this Force shaman that can raise the dead. And Palpatine, allows him to do it, sends his Imperial Guards along the way with him. And there's one Imperial Guard that has like a special investment in Vader and this mission for some reason that we don't know yet. But I did see a couple people commenting on it. And Ben, you've obviously listened to it, so you can explain this to me. But apparently, it's done a bit, well, not odd, but apparently at the end of the story, he sort of, whatever happens, and he sort of realizes, I'm Vader. I can't bring back Padme. Just going to focus on the Sith and the Empire and that sort of thing. Like, I can't bring back Padme. But if that's how it's done, that strikes me a bit odd because then, like, 7 years later, we get the whole him building his castle arc where he tries to bring Padme back again. I'd need to read the book and sort of understand the ins and outs because I'm listening to it on Spotify at the moment. But it's sort of weird, to have him have the same realizations twice within like a 7-year period.
That's kind of shit.
Yeah, it's sort of like, from what I've been seeing, like people that got it early and read it and all that, everyone's sort of like, cool book and everything, but like, what did we actually get out of it kind of thing? Like, it didn't really make sense in the terms of, he's already had this realization 7 years later. Why are they giving him the same kind of arc? It's
strange.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know. I'll read it and see, but Ben's read it. He can add to my interpretation of what I've seen people saying so far. Both Yoda and Anakin have such arrogance they can't win, internally imbalanced. Would we argue though that Palpatine's also arrogant? Because that's the whole
100%.
That's the whole Sith thing there. So yeah, I mean it's an interesting one with Yoda and Sidious, I guess.
Yeah, I think.
But the Anakin thing, yeah, 100%.
Hondo. Here.
Well, that's literally that's what we're saying right now, no, because no, fuck.
Oh, he's gonna hate you for that one. He's gonna hate you for that one.
Fuck.
So we would agree that the Jedi saying "bring balance to the Force" is, as in eradicating the Sith and leaving only Jedi would actually balance the Force is wrong because only the light side would exist. Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. You can't have balance with someone more in power than the other. Because there is an argument to be made that the Force is just light and the dark side is a corruption of the balance.
Well, that is it. That is George's definition right there.
It's a great argument, but dark has to exist for you to notice the light. Like what I was telling you before, as a child, when you are in the womb, you are known only by darkness, right? Yeah, 100%. I think internally that is right. but just like itself as the Force. Like as a child, you know only the dark in the womb, and then you are out in the light, and you can only appreciate the light. And there are times where it becomes too much, and then we have the dark at night. I think our world is so perfectly mirroring the world that is in Star Wars that a lot of people aren't really seeing the importance of darkness, like darkness itself. We've created all of this artificial light and different ways for us to be able to navigate in all hours of the day, and I think it's so wrong. You have to have the darkness at night to see the stars. But now we can't see the stars because we have been so focused on being light all the time. We are imbalanced. It's like ourselves trying to view balance in this other world. And it's like, you can't, how would you know that light is light if you didn't see dark? It just cannot exist. Light cannot exist without dark. Unless we're all gray globs walking around in this little globby blobby universe, it just doesn't. It won't work. Like what Dizzy says there. By definition, balance requires two sides, and that's why I think George Lucas in that, like, we're working so much on just one, like two little interviews or like two little pieces of information, where it's just he's not talking about in general the whole balance. And now obviously I'm biased to my opinion. This is what I think is balance, but I've taken a long time to actually understand this. Like, I've really wanted to look at this. When I was starting to do this channel, I thought I thought about balance itself. Like, I really did, because I'm like, what side do I really kind of lean towards?
Yeah.
As much as that might sound weird, it's like, I think I was very territorial about who I was choosing and why I was choosing it.
100%.
And my idea of balance was just purely there because you need to appreciate dark to understand how good it is to be light.
Yeah.
That's really balance. Yeah. Ras says here, yeah, we're on the same page then. I guess people just try to counter that, saying there is no dark force, if that makes sense, which I don't think makes sense at all. Yeah, I mean, like, those people are loyalists to a regime that is non-existent. They're not seeing the whole picture. They're so narrow-minded. I don't know if you know anything about horses or horse racing, but they've got blinders on in their race for a reason, so they don't see anything but the track ahead of them. That's the exact same thing as what they're doing, but they've got these light side blinders, being like, you can only be good if you've got light side of the Force. It's like, no, someone like Qui-Gon can exist because he appreciates the dark, and he will, succumb to the light, because that's really what it is. He's not actually choosing the light. He's succumbing to the goodness in him by appreciating the darkness that is out there.
Yeah, I think if everyone had a view of the Force like Qui-Gon, nothing bad would ever happen. Or nothing, you would never see the rise of the Empire.
You know what I would say? It'd be back to this.
Yeah.
It'd be back to this.
That's why I'm so interested in
what
Balin's
I think the
Skull.
Old Republic is.
That's why I'm so interested in Balin's Skull. Yeah.
Check out his video. Check it out.
It's because reading the Living Force book, I haven't actually finished it, but the parts I have read. Do you remember our friend Evan PL? He's in the Clone War. He's that small guy. He's got one eye. He's got the long ears. Looks a bit like a goblin from Harry Potter. He has a little arc in the Clone Wars where he ends up dying because he got captured.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they, like, a lot of Jedi have little stories in that and told from their points of view in this Living Force book. And from Evan Piel's point of view, he saw himself as the closest to Qui-Gon in terms of how they viewed the Force and that sort of thing, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's going to be interesting, dude. I'm so keen. I'm really glad they didn't just kill the character and they kept it going.
Yeah.
As much as I can Ray Stevenson, mad respect. I'm glad we get to see.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. That's the whole thing Dave sort of said, like, they need Balin Skull because he's the mirror to Ahsoka. They both sort of defected from the Order, but one maintained the goodness and the light side, whereas Balin... See, that's what makes Balin so compelling and interesting. He's not inherently bad or evil. He's just got this mission that probably takes him to the if like you had to pick a side, it's obviously on the darker side. But that's what makes him so interesting because he's not an inherently bad guy. Like you see him. And Ray explained his character that way. Like you see him, he's not going to hurt people unless they stand in his way, sort of thing. And then that's when he's going to, start killing and that. Like you see it from day dot episode 1 when they walk onto the New Republic ship. It's only because people pull guns and start firing on them and stand in his way that he brings out the lightsaber. If they just let him walk past, he wasn't going to hurt them. Yeah, he's such a compelling character,
dude. That's why I was drawn to him straight away. Straight away. I see here Ben's thing that you put up. I think I figured out the issue, lol. We're debating a George concept versus a sequel concept. The whole Rise of the Dark Side to meet the light introduced during them. I mean, I would disagree. I think the concept of the Force itself is not changed. Like I'm referencing the Rise of the Dark and the light to meet it is like that. That's just because Disney's taken over the IP, and that is the canonical thing now. But I'm talking about the origins of George Lucas's version still. Like we are looking at the foundations. We're not looking at the later on. I think it's so important to understand the Force because I don't think it was fleshed out anywhere near as much when George Lucas was in it, because it was kind of, I mean, what I love about George Lucas's storytelling is that he creates it knowing that we are going to have a lot of debates in the we are going to have a lot of debates in the future, and kind of like that's the enjoyment of the galaxy. That's why we don't know Yoda's birth planet or anything like that, right? Where he's from, what species he is, and all that kind of shit.
Yeah,
because there's a general mysticism that is so important to create a story so you can fill in the gaps. It's like Star Wars caught on so quickly because everyone can have their own opinions and their own little world. The world was created so well that all of the stuff that we can think of can come true, but it doesn't. And that's why we get so angry, and there's so many Star Wars fans that hate each other and all that kind of bullshit, right? But I think in order to flesh it out, you have to only look at the foundation. So that's why I disagree. I think I agree with you on so many things. That one I can't sit with.
The Living Force is a shit book. I haven't finished it, so thanks for fucking spoiling
it. I think you need to explain Balance Against the Jessicans. Bro, Jesse gets it better than me.
Normally he's cooking you. And now he's coming and cooking me.
I know. Dude, Jesse gets Balance better than me. I'm just like some random fucking guy.
No, but that's why
I'm a random guy in this.
That's why I like it though, because we've got different opinions. Like I'm obviously more by the George Lucas definition, but you've got the whole philosophical background, and so you provide that point of view. And look, a lot of people, like probably more people in here, agree with you than me.
Well,
I think so, at least from what I can tell. I think a lot more people agree with you.
I think they agree with me to an extent. Like, it's just
there's so many interpretations of this.
There's so many interpretations. It really is, and that's the beauty of it, right? And Ben, this is to you.
If start sending him rules, Ben, you can make it up.
There we go. But yeah, no, like that's the beauty of it, man. That is actually the beauty of this whole franchise. Like you can think whatever and you can believe whatever, and it can all exist all in one. It's why I like not having clear definitions on everything all the time. You don't need it. You can have a great story and not know the ending. Like
the world between worlds, no clear definition.
That's wrong because it changes the whole fucking thing. Bro, like Ahsoka should not be alive. I wanted the Ahsoka show. We could still have everything in the Ahsoka show. Everything in the Ahsoka show without her being there because of the world between worlds, man.
Who would Anakin save, and who would Anakin give one last lesson?
He was a Force ghost there. He was dude. All we had to do was see her right after the Jedi Order, and then Baylan Skoll would make so much more sense because he was gone during Order 66. He didn't just survive it like every fucking Jedi now apparently surviving Order 66. Then you have Valen Skull, who's still there, and Shin Hati, who's just a little bit younger. Oh, she's so beautiful still. And then it's like, oh God, Ahsoka goes to meet, and we're still struggling, and Anakin can still impart lessons and all that kind of stuff. But it's through the history that they had together. It's like flashbacks instead of Force ghosts. And
I think I triggered Jeremy.
That's my only contention with it. Otherwise, I like the World Between Worlds. If they didn't save Ahsoka, man. Well, dude, I think it's a pretty good spot to wrap that all up.
I think it is too. We're sitting on an hour quite nicely there. Thank you to everyone that came in, dude. We had Dizzy, we had Ben, we had Nerd, we had Wrath, we had Star Wars Sith, we had Mad Fred. Please don't tell me I'm missing anyone. Oh, we had Obi-Sean, obviously. Ripping me.
Yeah, ripping, bro. You got ripped a little bit today.
I did.
You got ripped a little bit today. Man, I'm sorry about that.
We're going to take the week to really calm down and regather myself.
You're going to have to.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you're so focused on creating the best content that there is on the internet. So, guys, make sure you're watching every single video that he's uploading and he's doing. Because he's got some time right now to be the best ever. I don't know if you're looking at the brand new setup as well.
It's not completely done yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Dude, I'm liking the path, man. Hype it up, everyone.
Got some more lights coming in for the back. But
hype it up. Look how good he looks. Bro, look how good he looks. Meow. God, I would ravage that body. I would ravage. I would absolutely ravage. Yeah, I think honestly, like, good, very constructive.
That was good
session.
I like hearing everyone's points of view on that because there are so many different ways that you can come at it from.
Big time. Big time. And do you want to say anything to anyone before we finish?
No, thank you everyone for coming in. I will be live tomorrow, about an hour from now. We'll be continuing Force Unleashed 2. And then we'll probably, I'm trying to think, should I go? I might work my way through the Jedi games again. Like, we'll do Fallen Order and then we'll do Survivor.
Sick.
I think we might do that.
Sick. Do it.
Force Unleashed.
Do it. Hundo.
I think we might do that.
Hundo. Definitely do it. Even if you want to go into the old games. Have you played Republic Commando?
Dude, I haven't played Republic Commando. I haven't played as Nerdy, who might kill me. I haven't played KOTOR. I haven't played. Yeah, dude, I'm so behind on the old games.
I tried Knights of the Old Republic. It was so hard with Xbox. So hard. So it's like a grind to get through. I've got to really be in the mood.
Yeah.
I just wasn't. Republic Commando was so much better. You actually really like Republic Commando. It's so good, man.
I found some of the old games because I tried to play Jedi Academy, Jedi Outcast 2 on my PlayStation once, and it just wasn't really adapted to console gaming. So I went back to I just got on Steam and doing it on PC. So we might do that game as well because that game's very nostalgic to me. I love that game.
Hell yeah!
But yes,
hell yeah, dude. All right, well, guys,
thank you everyone for coming through.
You all.
Much love.
Thank you so much.
So you used to look on the camera over there, and now it's here.
Yeah, legit. Mad love, mad respect. Catch you all in the next one. See you guys next week for an undisclosed episode, but it's going to be sick. Towards me, Star of the Old Republic, MMO on PC today. It's way better.
Way better.
Way better. Well,
way better.
Have to give it a go. Yeah, I just have to be in the mood though. It's so hard. It's so hard with the old games when I'm like finding the controls because it's like a brand new controller it didn't have anywhere near the amount of stuff as what it has now. And I'm like, and it's changed all the buttons. It's just, they should have done it better. But anyways, guys, love you all.
Much love. Peace out.
Thanks,
I guess we can be friends.
I guess.